One of these first principles is exactingly identified in Colossians 1:16. So we're going to spend 5 minutes, and in 5 minutes I want you to tell me to be quiet so we can play that one more time. Okay, all I'm going to do is read them to you, and I'm going to get down to the one that pertains here. 1, being is. That's the first principle. It is the principle of existence. We're here. We know we're here, and so we know that there is being. To say there is no being is self-refuting. Why? Because if I say there's no being, I have to say it in order for it to be true. And so, obviously, I'm an idiot if I deny that. One must exist in order to make the claim. 2, being is being. That is, be is be. That's the principle of identity. To say being isn't being is self-refuting. One must be a being in order to make a claim about not being a being. If I say I'm not a being, it's self-refuting because I'm being something by saying that. Okay, 3, being is not non-being. Be is not non-be. That is the principle of non-contradiction. If being exists, which is principle 1, then it cannot be non-being. Now that sounds silly, but it's important to know that that is a fundamental principle of logic. The principle is self-evident and undeniable. 4, either being or non-being. That's either be or non-be. That's the principle of the excluded middle, because people are always trying to shove something in the middle. Either I exist, asking the question means I do, then I am being. If I am being, then I am not non-being. The principle is self-evident and undeniable. There is no wiggle room. Okay? 5, non-being cannot cause being. That's non-be is less than be or greater than be. That's the principle of causality. Something cannot come from nothing. The universe cannot create itself if it didn't exist. Right? Okay. And we cannot have an infinite regress in matter or being. That's Einstein's relativity. The principle is undeniable. Infinite regress means that this created, this created, this created, and it goes on for infinity. That's impossible. You can never go forward if you have an infinite regress. If there was an infinite regress of time, the clock would never tick another tick because you're always going back looking for the beginning. So infinite regress is impossible. Just believe me on this and we can talk about it sometime. 6, contingent being. This is what's being refuted in this verse right now. A contingent being cannot cause a contingent being. Charlie Garrett is contingent. Something created me. I'm not necessary. God made me. I could not exist. And if I didn't exist, that means that I am contingent. God created me. I do exist, but I'm contingent on something else, both for creation and for being sustained right now. Okay, that is the principle of contingency or dependency. Now think of this. This would lead, if a contingent being could create something else, it would lead to an infinite regress of causes, which is disproved by relativity, time, space, and matter. They came into existence simultaneously, proven by Einstein, and are dependent upon each other. The principle is undeniable. Okay, what that means is that what the Jehovah's Witnesses say, God created and Jesus Christ created all other things, is impossible. If you think it through logically, it is irrefutable. Okay, read this again. There would be an infinite regress of causes, which is disproved by relativity. This is 3 things in relativity: time, space, and matter. What is this? Matter. It is within space, and it's getting older right now. This paper will someday turn to dust. Okay? Time, space, and matter all happened at the same moment, and one cannot exist without the other two. Space. Space is. Without matter, there would be no space. There would be nothing. Okay? And you could not have space without time. And time. You can't have time without space and matter. All 3 are contingent on each other. God created these things. These things are contingent. This or you cannot create anything.
No.
Everybody got that? Okay. Now I'm going to stop there. That's the 6 of the 12 first principles. But the contingent being is what Paul is addressing in Colossians 1:16. And we'll talk about that next week. We've got something.